Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, it's Friday, so as usual, we are ootin' a boot running errands, but before we get distracted by all that, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the shenanigans. Yo, like I said, we have errands to run, but it's not as bad as usual. Today we need to run to the library and drop off a couple of books. I need to run to the UPS and drop off a return, but that's it. No Walmart, no Home Depot, no nothing else, which is good because I don't know if y'all can see. Hang on, let's see if we can see. But it's actually nice out today. So I'm hoping that if I get home in a reasonable amount of time, I can maybe get a walk-in before I have to go back to my classes. Because y'all, I don't know if you're like me, but the cold and the winter and the yickety weather got all up next to me and I was completely off my game for a little while. Now, I know that seasonal affective disorder is a real thing. I don't believe that I have that, and I don't for even a second mean to play down the seriousness of that. Seasonal affective disorder is an actual serious condition, and if you have it, there's help for it out there. Y'all, I seriously don't think that I have that. I think I just get the winter blues. Because seasonal affective is it affective? I think it's affective disorder, right? SAD. We'll just call it SAD. Because SAD is sort of marked by depression, and it's a depression for much of the day, maybe almost every day. Losing interest in things that you normally care about, a change in your appetite and your weight, having problems with sleep, feeling agitated and having low energy, which all of those things go together, right? Your sleep being off, being agitated and like angsty all the time, and having low energy, and then having difficulty concentrating, and then really like an overall feeling of like hopelessness or worthlessness. I think that, and y'all, I don't know nothing about nothing. This is just what I've read and I've done research, but I think that's kind of like a key component to SAD, is that just sort of feeling of sadness and hopelessness that you get in the winter with short days, longer nights, lack of sunshine, all of that. And of course, that's what causes seasonal affective disorder is, well, one of the key triggers is the lack of sunshine. I don't think I had that at all. I think I just got kind of mopey because it was winter, because the nights were long and the days were short. I couldn't get outside. It was gray all the time. I made some poor eating choices. I allowed myself to get into a slump. Y'all know that. You watched it, but I'm done with it. I'm ready to make some good choices. And y'all, specifically, I'm ready to make a plan to have a productive and healthy spring. Here's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on eating nutrient-rich foods that are available now that it's springtime, like rich, colorful fruits and vegetables. I'm going to try to eat a lot more of those. I'm going to focus on eating more lean proteins because those will keep me full and keep me like satiated so that I won't go back to those bad eating. Y'all, I'm not even going to say the word peanut butter, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to go back to those bad eating choices. I'm going to get moving, which that really hasn't been a problem for me, but I'm going to focus on getting moving outside. We're not quite really like fully into spring here in the Northland, but I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to go back and look and see if I actually have video of this from yesterday, but it was sunny outside yesterday. So I insisted that I was going to sit outside and read. Now, that involved me bundling up in a hoodie and a blanket. But by goodness, I did it. I sat outside for a while and read, and I didn't get much sunshine because I was bundled up in a hoodie and a blanket. But I sat outside in the fresh air and I got some reading done, and y'all, it felt so good. So I'm going to focus on getting outside and being active, not just inside and doing like the stationary bike and the exercises that I normally do. I'm going to focus on doing more outside activity so that I'm in the sunshine and the fresh air and enjoying the spring. I'm going to focus on staying hydrated. Y'all, I carry a water glass around with me all the time, but I don't feel like I'm drinking a whole lot of water, so I might even go so far as to get one of those like water no, I'm not. I might even go so far as to maybe measure out a gallon of water and drink off of that, like refill my cup from that during the day so that I can gauge how much I'm really drinking and really focus on staying hydrated. I won't necessarily try to drink a certain amount of water a day because honestly, y'all, I don't know what the right amount is. I've read different theories on like how to calculate how much water you should drink, and some people say drink a gallon of water. I don't know. I think it depends on your level of activity and maybe even where you live. Like if you live somewhere that's hot and humid, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just going to try to do better. I'm just going to try to drink more water on a consistent basis. Another thing I'm going to work on, y'all, and I think some of you have probably been saying this in your head as you're watching my videos: portion control. One mistake that's easy to make with Weight Watchers is eating a lot of 0-point foods and not necessarily paying attention to your portion control or watching your calories when you eat those foods. Like y'all know this, I eat a lot of fat-free yogurt because it's 0 points on Weight Watchers and it fills me up. But if you eat a whole lot of that, the calories can start to add up too. I'm not gonna necessarily say that I'm gonna limit my portions on 0-point foods, but I'm at least gonna be cognizant of how much of certain 0-point foods I'm eating and just see if that affects not even so much my weight, but how I feel. Cause y'all, honestly, I'm up a few pounds right now, but I know why that is. I'm not saying the PB word, but it's because I've been eating a lot of the PB word. So I've told myself I'm just not gonna, and I know it's ridiculous. I know it is, but I've allowed myself to do that and I'm just not going to anymore. I know. I'm acting like it's a thing. It's really not a thing. But anyway, portion control and like watching your calories is maybe something to think about if you are on Weight Watchers and you're staying within your point allowance, but you're still struggling a bit with your weight or something. Maybe think about the calories that you're eating, not just your points. Another thing that I need to work on that it's not out of control, but it's not as good as I know that it needs to be, is sleep. I've gotten into a really bad habit. Y'all go ahead. I'm going to give y'all a second to laugh at me before I even tell y'all this. I've gotten in a really bad habit of staying up too late at night reading. I know. Y'all, I seriously need to set my Kindle. I need to go into like the kids setting on the Kindle and set my Kindle to like shut itself down at a certain time, like at my bedtime or 20 minutes past bedtime, so that I force myself to go to sleep because I'm disciplined enough to get up when I need to get up in the morning, because I know that if I don't, it's going to throw off my whole day. Like I get up, I think y'all have seen this. Have y'all seen What I Do in a Day video? I don't know. Anyway, I get up at 4:30 in the morning so that I have time to do some lesson plannings, work out, have breakfast, have a shower, do all those things before I teach my first class. Well, if I sleep in, then one of those things doesn't get done. So I'm disciplined enough to actually get up in the morning when I need to get up, but I'm apparently not disciplined enough to go to bed at night when I need to go to bed at night. So I need to prioritize sleep a little bit better. And then I think along with that goes managing stress. I got a lot of things going on, got a lot of irons in the fire, and really more specifically, some things, not like some things are changing, not like in a weird way, but I'm a teacher, right? And it's the end of spring going into summer semester. So that's like a natural sort of transition. And I don't do well with transitions at all of any sort, even when they're like normal and expected. And along with that whole like elevation and stress comes, issues with sleep and not eating as well and all of those things. So I think if I develop some tools to manage my stress better, then sleep will be better and eating will be better and all the things will be better. And along with that whole managing myself toolkit is avoiding processed food. I do okay with it, but the processed food that I eat is like cravey kind of processed food. So when I start eating it, I like eat processed food. So I think if we go back to the beginning of the list where I'm going to eat, better, more, natural, like fruits and veggies and nutrient rich foods, those are not processed foods. So anyway, y'all, Rome was not built in a day. I'm not going to do this all at once, but that is my plan for getting back on track this spring and doing some of the damage that I have done to myself over the winter. And now, can y'all see this? Look at this. The sun is out. I'm excited. It's like, it feels good just feeling the sun in my car. I'm gonna get back to the house. I'm gonna do a quick workout inside, but then y'all, I think I'm gonna try to go for a walk because it's supposed to start raining. And once it starts raining, it's gonna rain for a while. And not that you can't walk in the rain, but I'm not gonna feel like walking in the rain. So I'm gonna go home, do a quickie workout, maybe get something going for dinner, because y'all know I think we talked about this before. I do well if I have like a big old vat of some 0 point or low point food that I can eat off of. I will choose that over making bad choices. But if that's not there as an easy choice, I will make a bad choice. So I think I'm going to get something going. I might have like one little serving of that Brunswick stew left. Y'all, that was good. And it kept me going for a while. So, but I'm finally done with that. So I'm going to make something. I have some chicken in the crock pot. Y'all, I feel like my entire life story is I have chicken in the crock pot and I need to return library books. Like that's every day of my life. So, but yeah, I have just like basic chicken breasts in the crock pot because that's like my default because it's non-commitmental. Like I can get it going and then make something from it, but there's all kinds of things you can make from it. You can just kind of make it up as you go along. So that's what I'm doing. So I will use the chicken in the crock pot to get something going. And I think, y'all, it is Cinco de Mayo, so I think I'm gonna make fajitas for the intern for dinner. So let me get off here. Let me get home. Let me get my workout done. I will meet you in the kitchen. We'll get some things going. And then maybe we'll go for a walk. All right, so I'll see you back at the house. All right, y'all, errands are done, workout is done. I might or might not get a walk in because clouds are kind of rolling in and out, but that's okay. Spring is here, so if we don't get a walk in today, we'll get a walk in at some point. But for now, let's get some food going. So like I mentioned, I had some chicken going in the crock pot, so I went ahead and shredded that up. So I think I'm gonna make some kind of like chicken chili stuff. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chop up some onions and bell peppers and go ahead and saute those. Throw in some garlic and then saute some ground turkey in that. And then I'm gonna add my chicken to it, mix that up. And then I'm just gonna start throwing in stuff. I'm gonna add beans to that. I have some Great Northern white beans, some pinto beans, I think I'm gonna throw in some black-eyed peas, some black beans, maybe some garbanzo beans, and some did I say cannellini beans? I'm gonna throw in some cannellini beans, and then I'm gonna add some diced chilies, mix that all up, let it cook for a minute and just see what the consistency is. Then I'm gonna throw in some corn and some frozen lima beans just because I like them and I have some. Let that cook a little bit. Then I'm gonna add some ground cumin and oregano. Let it cook a little bit and just see how it is. Then I'll add chicken broth to get the consistency that I want. And y'all, I know that it's white chili, so it's not supposed to have chili powder, but I might add some chili powder, just depending on how the taste is. So let me get that going. I'm gonna stick it in the oven, let it cook at 250 for a few hours, and then we'll come back and do a taste test. And then for dinner tonight, for the intern, I'm just gonna make some fajitas, y'all. I've got some chicken in the fridge. And when I make my fajitas, all I do, and this is probably how everybody makes fajitas, but I just chop up bell peppers and onions, and I leave the onions big because y'all know the intern doesn't like onions. So bell peppers and onions, I'll saute those, and then I take my chicken and I sear it on the grill a little bit. I don't know if that does anything, but it just makes me feel better, makes me feel like it's prettier or something. Then I take that and I slice it thinly. Then I throw it in the pan, cook it down, and then mix back in the onions and the bell peppers. Then I add my homemade fajita seasoning, let it cook down a bit, and then we have fajitas. Then the intern will eat that on regular old flour tortillas. And I use those Egg Life wraps because the plain Egg Life wraps are 0 points. So that whole thing is 0 points. So then I'll add like cucumbers to mine, or like lettuce and tomato. He just does lettuce, tomato, and cheese like you're supposed to on a fajita. But I'll add whatever kind of random vegetables I find to mine to make it filling without adding points. So y'all, that's gonna be dinner, but let me get this chili going, and then I'll come back when it's done and we'll do a taste test, all right? So I'll see y'all in a little while. Y'all, the chicken chili big pot of stuff is done. It just came out of the oven. It smells good. It's really pretty. Let's give it a taster and see how it actually tastes. It's very hot, and y'all know that I'm not gonna wait an appropriate amount of time to taste it, so I'm gonna hurt myself. But I'm gonna try to get a spoonful of a representative amount of stuff. It's been in the oven for about 2.5 hours at 250 degrees. I took it out once and stirred it, but I've been working, so I haven't been able to like take it out and fuss with it, so it's actually had time to cook. Yep, that's hot, but it's really tasty. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I put in a tablespoon of oregano and probably between 3/4 and a tablespoon of cumin. And as I was doing that, I was like, oh, that's a lot of cumin. Stirred it all up and tasted it, and I was like, oh yes, that's a lot of cumin. So I really thought I had gone wrong with that, but it's good. I hoped that letting it cook for a couple of hours would level that out, and it did. I did not put any kind of broth at all in it, didn't add any water to it. And we didn't talk about points. Y'all, I didn't put in anything that has any points. I started off with maybe half a teaspoon of olive oil, but if you divide that over that vat, can y'all see that pot? Over that vat of food, that's gonna come out to like less than no points. Yeah, that's good. I'm not even gonna mess with eating those fajitas tonight. I'm gonna have this for dinner. I have some bread that's 2 points for 2 slices. So I'm gonna toast me some bread and have some weird chicken chili, big old pot of stuff, and toast for dinner. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you've hung out through all of this, we're definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos on Mondays with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.